It is finally happening. I got a hold of Scythe of Vitur. One of my friends lent me it. And I remember originally I said like it was a video that I uploaded over a month ago. I said whoever gives me a Scythe, I can give you 150 million. You can just keep it. This guy didn't want it. He said just make a video. But the problem when I made the video, I think the Scythe was like 4.5 billion and it was like very fluctuating. The price the next day could be 4 billion. So even though I pay someone 150 mil, it was never worth it to give me a Scythe. It was way too wavy. But now actually if you type in Vitur in the forums, it says that the price is approximately 3.1 billion. Now even though this item has no quest requirements to equip, you can just buy it and there's going to be no problem. You do need access to this new place that can be accessed with the Khan's medallion. I don't think you need to complete the whole quest. You just need to access this well, and then you can charge it only here. Mixing 1 vial of blood with a power of 300 blood runes will give you 100 charges, which pretty much means that each time you attack an enemy, this is how much it's going to cost you: 822 GP per attack. So you do 1,000 attacks and it's going to cost you like 822k. It is a very, very costly weapon to use. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, also, since I already charged it with 3.8 thousand charges, by the way, if you click uncharge, you will not get anything back. So if you change your mind, if you want to sell the Scythe eventually, make sure you don't charge it with too many things because you will not be able to re-obtain your vials of blood. So what is the big deal about this weapon anyway? Why is it 3.1 billion? Well, the weapon itself is unique. It's kind of like a twisted bow. You know, when a twisted bow can be really good in certain situations, but completely terrible in certain situations too, where you are attacking non-mage creatures. So this one, let's say if I attack this creature, you're not going to see... Oh, you actually attack both. Did you see that? That's one of the perks. You can attack up to 3 enemies at the same time. However, if the enemy is fairly large, you can attack it 3 times at the same... Look at this. 3 hits. You see that? Even though the weapon has fairly bad stats, but when you hit like 3 times, it can stack up really well. However, I think it's like almost like claw special attack. You're not going to expect like hit 40, 40, 40, 40 or something. It's more like the first hit is big, then it goes down, 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 down. Now, on this account, I didn't have a fire cape, so I decided to go ahead and get one and try to kill Jad with the Scythe of Vitur. And I can't even compare it to like Twisted Bow because I think still the Twisted Bow is better, but I did manage to outdamage 3 healers that were healing Jad. On purpose, I was not attacking them. It did kind of feel a little bit slow because the hits were not that high, but they were like constant. You would like constantly hit something, and I'm not sure how it would compare to even like something like Abyssal Whip. Could you outdamage Jad healers with an Abyssal Whip? It took me, I think, like 3 or 4 minutes to kill Jad, so it's not the fastest time. It's still better to just maybe range all the minions and then attack Jad. That would be a little bit better, but... still, I thought, hey, this weapon has so much DPS. I'm gonna try to like completely outdamage him. So let's go ahead and try to use this on Bandos. The first time I read about the Scythe is a lot of people said it's like a Dragon Claw spec constantly on Bandos boss, which I don't think it's... I think they kind of over-exaggerated because claws are fairly powerful. I think this is not even a solo weapon. It's fairly accurate, let me tell you that. Like I can see hits like most of the time, so it is... I'm more impressed with the accuracy of this thing. It's like almost every hit that I hit, you deal at least a little bit of damage, but now I need to heal up. Oh my god, did you see that? Oh my god, I didn't know you can hit that much. That was really a lot. That was like really, really a lot. Now, I don't know if this is still the best thing to kill minions with, but you can stack them together and you can just damage both of them at the same time. So I guess it does save a little, but I don't even know if this is good for minions or not. I feel like just bringing Abyssal Whip or a Blowpipe or, what's it called, the Ancients. But yeah, I gotta tell you, I'm very, 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 very impressed with the weapon. Like, I can't wait. I don't want to crash people, but I just want to, like, compare, like, how many drops I'm going to get, like, in a team compared to everyone else. Now, because at the time it was not peak time, I could not find like a very busy world, so I had to stick around with a max gear, but he was only level 117. So I wanted to see how it's gonna go against him. He had level 97 strength and level 90 attack, and I was getting kills only approximately 70% of the time. Yes, I was getting majority of the kills, but the guy was not maxed, and I have this powerful weapon that could probably, I mean, I imagine Twisted Bow can snipe anything against any other weapon, but then you have a Scythe that is kind of, it's not really doing the job properly. It almost seems like it's a little bit better, than something like Abyssal Whip. By the way, all the hits that I'm dealing at Bandos, these are without Bandos Godsword or without Dragon One Hammer. The defense is full defense, and I'm still hitting like constantly. Alright, so after I was finished with Bandos, I decided to do a little bit of Sada, and let me tell you that I'm pretty sure this applies to every single monster as well. If you can use a Twisted Bow against certain monster, use a Twisted Bow. Don't use a Scythe, because you will never win. I didn't get a single kill, and I was not even close, baby. Not even close of getting anything. Those 65s and 60s that are coming in from the Twisted Bow. By the way, the Scythe can be really deceiving as well, because sometimes you hit probably higher than 65. It just shows like 30, 40, or 20 or something like that. It seems low hits, but sometimes you can really hit a lot. But yeah, those things are way too powerful, like Twisted Bow. When I was testing Twisted Bow, I could feel the power, but now I'm testing the Scythe, I don't really feel the power. And I don't want to test it on Zami boss because we have Arclight, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be better than the Scythe. Okay, so I'm editing this video right now, and I realized that I was only hitting Sada boss 1 time instead of 3 times because of the melee minion. This guy was in my way all the time, and you can constantly see I'm hitting it like twice. So that's why I was not getting any kills. However, that's the problem with the Scythe. I just realized that it can also happen at Bandos. So when I was showing the clip that I was hitting Bandos 3 times, many people have a problem where you also hit minion like 1 time at least. So Bandos boss only gets like 2 hits instead of 3 hits. So the Scythe in these places can become not as useful as you may think, especially at Sada boss. Like, you probably don't want to use it like ever, because you constantly hit those minions because how small the boss itself is. Now, what about Giant Mole? It seems like the perfect creature to kill. It's big, and it seems like it doesn't have much defense, and you can just farm it, right? The respawn timer is like, what, 10, 15 seconds? You can just kill one and keep just farming. Scythe is like the perfect thing. No, it's actually one of the worst things they can use on Giant Mole. You see, the problem with Giant Mole is once it gets to half HP, every time you hit it, it has a chance to bury down. That's why I've seen quite a few people use Dragon Claws on Giant Mole, which you should never really do, because every time you spec, it hits 4 times. That means it has 4 chances to bury just from a single attack that you deal. Use something like AGS instead. So the Scythe is similar to Dragon Claws because it deals multiple hits, and then you hit it once, it's pretty much almost guaranteed chance that it's going to bury down just from 1 single attack, because it counts as 3 attacks. Now, it actually gets a little bit more annoying than that. In this clip, I attacked it, but it only showed 1 hit splat. So it buried under the ground, it respawned somewhere else, and guess what? The next 2 hits that should have been hit, it actually hit the Giant Mole. So you think, oh, that's what it spawned. No, it's burying again, respawning somewhere else, even though you didn't hit it at all. And then we have Caliphate Queen, which the Scythe does work fairly well, but we have a problem like at Bandos. There are these tiny minions walking around for no reason, and they just mess it up sometimes. And also, even though the Scythe works fairly well, why don't you just use a Dragon Warhammer or a Bandos Godsword special attack and then just use Hasta or a Bludgeon? It would work much better than the Scythe, I assume. But other than that, it's not bad. It's not bad, but it's also barely any improvement that I see, at least from what I tested, the few kills that I've done. Also tried the second phase as well, just for fun, and it was fairly accurate. But obviously, it's not going to outdamage the Blowpipe's attack. By the way, all of this was without Slayer task. You can see I don't have a Slayer helmet, including the Dagnaught Supreme, and it worked. I think the average kill time was like 23 seconds that I've done on almost all of them. So it works very, very well, but then at the same time, what doesn't work on Supreme? You can just whip it, it has like no defense. So in conclusion, I would say that the weapon is fairly good. It is slightly better than Abyssal Whip, but at the same time, you have to remember that it costs close to 1000 GP per 1 attack. Is it worth it? Like, it's gonna add up. Unless you're doing something really big things, like if you're maxed, and obviously you probably, if you can afford a 3 billion weapon, you probably have achieved a lot in the game. So it's mainly for those end game like pet hunters or something. So you probably want to take the Scythe instead of whipping 5,000 Bandos or something. It's probably just, you know, yeah, you may lose money. You probably you're still gonna make money from Bandos drops, but what I feel about the weapon is that it's made for raids too, because it works on so many monsters and it's just really, really good. That's why it keeps the price up, because you can do more raids an hour, and that means you can get more items an hour, and that's what I think. It's raids to weapon. That's what it's used for. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I am back from Netherlands again. That's why there were no videos for over a week, so I should be back to my regular schedule. Thank you, and bye!